confirmed, so they're still waiting to see that. But there was this view that this is the sort of step that would be necessary to get Gaddafi to give up power, that he was not going to leave on its own. But the more trauma, the more pressure that can be created right next to him, in his family, among those closest to him, would perhaps be the best way to get the regime to actually crack. So they will watch and see what the next hours and days bring. But this is the sort of step that they felt needed to be taken to sort of ratchet up that pressure in the most personal and traumatic kind of way.
David, I want to ask you about those tornadoes back here at home. This was the worst natural disaster since Hurricane Katrina, clearly the worst under Obama's administration, his tenure here. How is the president handling it thus far?
Well, you've seen the president and the first lady go there, be there, show up. And I think that's really the role of the president at a time like this, to focus some attention on how horrific the scene is, how bad the damage is, and how much the government will have to be a partner going forward. I mean, on the order of $5 billion worth of damage. That requires sustained commitment long after the media attention goes away. And so the president, as you see in pictures like this, is doing what the presidents need to do, is to be seen there, comforting, showing up, and paying attention.
Just recently, in an episode of Celebrity Apprentice, at the steakhouse, the men's cooking team did not impress the judges from Omaha Steaks. And there was a lot of blame to go around, but you, Mr. Trump, recognized that the real problem was a lack of leadership. And so ultimately you didn't blame Little John or Meatloaf. You fired Gary Busey. And these are the kind of decisions that would keep me up at night.
So funny, in fact, that Seth Meyers and President Obama looked very similar last night. There were a lot of jabs, right, going back and forth between the president and Donald Trump. Did they take it all in stride?
I don't know. I couldn't